Hi, this is Donna. Welcome to DD Paper Crafts. In today's video, I'm going to be making this box/bag, which I've styled for a Mrs. Claus look. This bag is 5 inches by 2 inches and 4 inches high. There are lots of ways you can put this together, with handles, without handles. Mine has a flip lid. You could make a detachable lid and just have it as a box. And it's a very easy project to put together and easy to resize. So let me show you how I put the basics of the box together. I'm starting with 2 pieces of cardstock for the front and back, which are 5 inches by 4 inches. We want to put the markings in to create the shape of the base. I'm putting a pencil mark at 1 inches and at 4 inches. I'm going to rotate and put a pencil mark at 3 inches. So this indicates the diagonal for this corner. Rotate 180 degrees and put a pencil mark at 1 inch. You can see here I've got a pencil mark here and here. So we will cut off between the 2 pencil marks to create the shape, and I've got the same on this side. You want to do that on both pieces. I'm going to use my trimmer to cut between the 2 pencil lines. You can obviously use scissors or a guillotine, and then I am going to just lay my pieces on top of each other and just make sure that they are the same. We're now going to create the sides for the box bag, and I'm going to make this in 2 parts. If you decide to change the depth of your box, just remember to add on an extra inch to give you the 1/2 inch glue tabs. I'm starting with a piece which is 3 inches by 5 inches, and this is going to give us this side, this piece, and a 1/2 inch glue tab. Along the short side, score at 1/2 and 2.5. Rotate, and along the long side score at 1/2 and 2. The second piece is 3 inches by 7.5 inches, so that's going to give us this length, and along the base. Again, score at 1/2 and 2.5. Rotate, score at 3 and 4.5. Take the 2 side pieces and fold and burnish along all of the score lines. We'll start with the shortest piece with the 1/2 inch tab in front of us. Remove the bottom left and right hand corners. Take a wedge from the ends of this glue tab. We're going to cut up the next score line to the horizontal to split the glue tab into 2 pieces, and then take a wedge from the ends of the 2 glue tabs. Rotate and repeat on the other side. So that's one piece. Take your longest piece, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to cut up each of the verticals to the long horizontal, and then take a wedge from each of the sections. So there's our 2 pieces. So our short piece will be in this orientation with our glue tab on the right hand side. We've got our longer pieces. Now both these sections are exactly the same length, they're 3 inches, so you don't need to worry that you've got that upside down. I'll use my quick grab glue. I'm going to glue these 2 strips together. Try and get your score lines aligned. Make sure the piece is flush and in line. We're now going to add on our front and our back. Now you can start by adding the top section and work your way round. Start with the base and work your way round. I'm going to start with the base, and the reason for that is because then if I get round to this piece and these 2 don't quite marry up, I can do some trimming if necessary. Just going to work my way round, adding glue to each section. I'm going to sit my piece this way up and line up the base, and then work my way round. I can now add this. If you find that as you're pulling the piece round, it's not quite fitting, just go in and change the angles at the ends of the tabs, because you may find that on the inside the tabs are actually hitting each other, and that's what's stopping the piece from getting into position. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now, before you add your second side piece on, you may want to consider whether you're going to add handles to the bag and where you want the handles to be positioned, because it will be easier now if you're having brad handles, as I am, to put the holes in for the brads now before we put the second piece on the top, which is going to make life a bit more difficult.
I'm going to use my screw punch, and my holes are 1 inch in from the side of the box and 1.5 inches down from the top edge.
Now I've put the holes in, I'm going to add glue to the top tabs and stick the second side of the box bag into place. The box base is now complete and it comes together very quickly, albeit in my case I've had to re-glue it using red liner tape because the glue that I had faith in didn't actually work on this cardstock. You could now decorate this box base up and leave it as it is. You don't necessarily need to do anything more on it depending on what your gift is. As I said at the beginning, the lid and the straps are completely optional, and without those this box still has a nice look to it. I'm now going to make the lid for mine. You could of course have a completely detachable tray style lid if you so wished. I'm going to make a flip lid for this one. For the flip lid, I have a piece which is 3 5/8 by 7 1/8. Along the 3 5/8 inch side, score at 1/2 inch, rotate 180 degrees and score at 1 inch. Along the long side, score at 1 inch, rotate 180 degrees and score at 1 inch. And the slight extra 1/8 of an inch in the width and the length in this centre rectangle is going to give us enough leeway for the lid to fit over the box. Fold and burnish along the score lines. With the 1/2 inch tab in front of you, cut up the first vertical to the horizontal.
Rotate and remove that bottom left-hand rectangle.
And just take a wedge from that end. Move along to the next score line and cut up the vertical to the horizontal. Remove that bottom right hand rectangle and take a wedge. Rotate 180 degrees. Cut up the vertical to the horizontal to create our corner glue tab. Take a wedge. Move along to the other end and repeat. We will add glue to these 2 corner glue tabs. Pull this round to create the front of the lid, like so. Add adhesive to this long glue tab, which is going to sit inside the box, and then the lid is going to come around and sit over the top like so. So we can get this adhered into place. I am going to use red liner tape. So that fits on there nicely, and there's a nice amount of room for the lid to fit over the top. For my handles, I have cut 2 which are 9 inches long by 1 inch wide, and I've punched a hole 1/2 inch up from the edge and 1/2 inch across. So I'm now going to add these to my bag and get on with my decoration, and then I'll come back. Here's my finished decorated box. You can see I've tried to go for a more of a Mrs. Claus look. I've added a simple peel off sentiment on the front. I'm sure these are probably thought to be old-fashioned these days, but sometimes they have their place. I've used a filigree circle die to create the look of the front of the apron, and then I've used an X-cut punch to create the elements around the top of the lid and to create the handles. And these are the same size as I gave earlier for the red glitter handles. I've just changed them up for white. So very easy. Move the straps out the way and then the flip lid comes up like so. Whilst the decoration of this has taken quite a while because I've had to punch out all of these elements, the box itself is very quick and easy to put together, and it's very easy to resize. So here we have the finished project. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and until next time, thanks for watching.